This episode of SecuraTip is brought to you by the SANS Institute. Use checkout code SecuraBit_Tech5 to receive 5% off a course of your choosing. Welcome to the first episode of SecuraTip. The SecuraTip series will give the viewer a short 5 to 10 minute video covering a particular technique or a tool. In this episode, we're going to cover extracting files from pcaps using NetworkMiner. Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to quickly extract exes, files, malware out of pcaps using NetworkMiner. But to make you understand, where we're coming from here, I'm going to quickly just show you, how we do it in Wireshark first. So for this particular video, I'm just using a pcap I grabbed from this GitHub repository here. He keeps a whole bunch of pcaps available, so if you want something to test with, he always has some stuff in here, and I'm using the jackcr outbound.rar if you want to play along at home. From the README, this is pulled from handlerdiaries.com, so also check them out if you want to see some more challenges with pcaps and malware in general. So anyways, I've gone ahead and downloaded and extracted this particular pcap for outbound.rar and have it loaded in Wireshark here. So in Wireshark, obviously we can do all of our normal things that we would normally do in Wireshark, and this one has a ton of FTP data or FTP traffic, so we could filter by FTP if we wanted to, or DNS if there was any DNS traffic, HTTP, so on and so forth. So you see, you can do protocol. We can do our normal IP.addr. Once it catches up with me, addr equals. We'll go with this address here. Right. So you can see we have our filtering capabilities here. So typically, if you want to pull a pcap, or if you want to pull an exe out of here, so we see here, for instance, this user, or this activity here is an HTTP GET for a particular exe that goes by the name of swing-mechanics.doc.exe. If we wanted to pull this exe out to do some malware analysis on, in Wireshark, I would have to do something along the lines of this. So I would, follow TCP stream for that particular stream. I would, so red being one side of the conversation, blue being the other side. In this case, we want to grab the exe, so we want the response, which would be the blue side. So I would pick out that side, which is going to be larger in size. So I'm picking it out there, and then I would carve out, what I needed here. So basically, I would keep it selected as raw, save this file as something else, someplace, and after I save it, I would open it up in hex editor, and I would carve out all this stuff on top because that's not part of the actual exe. You start off with MZ, and then I would carve off anything at the bottom if there was anything at the bottom in the way as well. So that's how I would get the exe out of Wireshark. But NetworkMiner does a much better job of that. So to show you quickly how NetworkMiner works, and of course I should show you where you can get it too. So let's do that real quick. NetworkMiner, and here you go on SourceForge. So tons of downloads. A lot of people recommend it, so check it out. But anyways, we can have it, start listening on a particular NIC, just like Wireshark, and it'll start pulling data that we need. Or we can give it a pcap and have it work with that. So let's go ahead and do this one, outbound.exe, or outbound pcap. And as it brings it in, it's going to apply some analysis to it and start separating things out in a manner that's going to make more sense to us for analysis. So, in here, it's kind of hard to pick out what you want. Where the FTP session is. In a file this large, it's hard to find everything that you would need. And imagine a pcap that's 200 megs or a couple gigs. It gets even harder. So what NetworkMiner does for you here is it divides things out in a nice manner and applies some analytics to it. So if we click on this host tabs, for instance, we can start sorting things by the fields available here, so IP address, MAC, host name, the amount of traffic sent, so on. But what it's going to do, regardless of how you sort it, is going to give you the host. It's going to take a guess at what operating system it is based on the communications that occurred. So for instance, with this Linux box, with this being the IP and this being the Mac, VMware Mac, so it's going to check it, to check the Mac to see if there are known vendors. But then it's going to say, hey, based on what we're pulling from these sources, there is a 58% chance that this is Linux and running this particular flavor. And same thing, header cap is, hey, this is Fedora, 33% chance. So it's taking a particular, it's taking a guess based on the communications that it's seen, much like Nmap TACO would do. But it's going to then give us some statistics that we can drill down into, and that's all great stuff for figuring out what's going on. Then it'll separate the frames out for you, which is also really cool. If there's any images in the pcap, you'd be able to see them right here. Any messages, same. So it pulls that out. Credentials, again. So here FTP was used, and we know the credentials for FTP are passed in clear text. So we see that Jack was the username and TooAwesome was the password. It'll break out the different sessions for you, letting you know the the NAT table statistics. The only thing that's a little confusing, this is not source port, this is server port, so destination, and client is obviously source. Pull out the DNS conversations if there were any. It'll pull some parameters, as you can see here, like, alright, the FTP client was FTPD. It's going to pull the user agents, stuff like that. Keywords, you can search for particular things if you wanted to. And then here in the clear text column is going to pull out, it's going to search a dictionary of your choosing. By default, it's going to use their all words dictionary to see if there's anything in the pcap that matches those particular words. But what we really care about for this video anyways is the files. So as you can see, while we would have had to open this guy up here, export this out, and then carve out in hex using a hex editor, carve out what we didn't want in there. And here it does that magic for you automatically. So it's just a matter of it's actually already exported it for you as well. So I don't have to save it or export it. It's already done for me. So open folder is going to bring me right to that directory where it has it, and now we can do our forensics on there if we wanted to. And the same thing as you can see for standard files as well. It's not just for exes, but for files as well. So if we open folder here and edit with Notepad++, let's see. Hey, well, this wasn't really a text; it's actually a RAR. And I'm sure part of this challenge, I haven't gone through this challenge before for this pcap, but I'm sure fishing through whatever is in this second one, and this exe will find a password to unencrypt this RAR, or decompress this RAR. So yeah, so NetworkMiner, really cool tool. You can do a lot more with it too. I'm just showing you the basics. Check it out, and I hope you like it. Thanks.